man. We got Shedeur Sanders and the haters, right?
It's the beginning of June, and Dion is already complaining about his son and what went down at the draft. This, my friends, is why Shedeur Sanders fell in the draft. Front offices were just like, no thank you on Shedeur Sanders precisely because of this. Hey, Dion, Shedeur is now 23 years old. I'm not telling a grown man what to do, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, Dion. Next time you were asked about it, hey, man, I wish my son the best. I will be rooting for him hard. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Go Browns. Just stop. All you're doing is hurting Shedeur.
Crazy, man, how these Sanders haters are just everywhere. And it's like, they don't stop, you know? And it's like, some of these Shedeur Sanders haters are missing the point. Or should I say, this guy on the show right here, he is proving my point. Because he's, like he's saying, this isn't about Shedeur's performance in college. And if he was a 5th round talent. Because we all know this isn't the case. This is about 32 teams who decided not to take Shedeur as a top pick in the NFL draft because his dad is a loud and powerful man, meaning loud in social media and things like that. And when has it ever been a time that a 1st round talent became a late round pick because of his dad, right? When has that ever happened in the NFL? And we all know the agenda is crazy. They continue to push the same narrative while the draft been long gone. They continue to talk about the same thing over and over. And it's like, what is this really about, right? And so, like I said, they're proving our point because if dad didn't have a huge following and dad didn't have a big influence, they're saying Shedeur would have been a top pick, basically, if dad would have stayed out of his business, basically, right? But
exactly
because Shedeur's dad's voice is much louder than other dads, Shedeur is punished. Is that what they're saying?
Exactly what they're saying.
Like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's like people get on these podcasts and continue to talk and spew nonsense and not even realize what they're actually saying. You're just saying that if dad wasn't in the way, he would have been a top pick. And that's exactly why we are screaming and rallying behind Shedeur Sanders, because we feel this is ludicrous, you know. And his other dads had a lot to say, but we don't hear, other dads because their voice doesn't command the same attention as Coach Prime. So their children don't get punished. Only Coach Prime because his voice is loud. I don't understand what are their points sometimes at half the time.
Yeah, and I can probably like guarantee, I ain't gonna say probably, I can guarantee he was one of the people that we talked about before that was celebrating the drop of Shedeur. Like, see, that's what I said. Like, I can see him saying that on a show or whatever his platform that he used the most, like celebrating the downfall of Shedeur draft going down to the 5th round, man. Instead of appreciating his game, his talent, his gifts, understanding that like this is not right because there's quarterbacks that got taken in front of him that shouldn't have. He's one of those people, man. And like, this is a response from your show from Say What Needs to Be Said that he's talking about. So make sure y'all tune into this, subscribing, liking, and because y'all don't want to miss it. Y'all don't want to miss the conversation. The conversation gonna continue on forever. But man, I and just for a man to come out and actually say his feelings, and then like you kind of like punish him for saying his feelings, like he not allowed to say he hurt, but now is like he's the problem because he's saying he hurt his son dropped in it. It makes you not want to do it again.
Right.
So it's more than just like, I mean, coming at Shedeur is also like, damn, I ain't gonna never open my mouth again. I ain't gonna never say how I feel again, because when I say how I feel is a big deal. Of course, we know don't affect Coach Brown because he kind of really don't care what people think. But as other men that's around watching and seeing this, that can really affect them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it makes no sense because it's like if Coach Prime didn't make any predictions or tell what he thinks is best for his son, as what the father should do, then we're saying, or they're saying that Shedeur wouldn't be in this predicament. Like, every dad supports their kid. How they support their kid is up to them and how they want to do it and what they learned throughout their life, And basically, they're saying Dad shouldn't support your son, shouldn't support his son because you're going to affect his draft stock. How foolish does that sound? And this is what they're saying. If that wasn't the case, then why the hell aren't they just criticizing Coach Prime, right? If that's not the case, just go right at Coach Prime. You don't have to keep saying X, Y, and Z, the draft, the Shedeur Sanders, all these type of things, because, if y'all didn't see, just recently I spoke about Colin Cowherd unnecessarily going at the Sanders family, and this is his show. The audio I just played, this is from his show. And we all know birds of a feather gonna flock together all the time. And it's like he came right to the show and repeated exactly what Colin Cowherd said. And it's like the propaganda, the nonsense, it's just, I just don't understand, man. I never seen anything like this. First of all, a 5th round pick being talked about as much as he is almost 2 months after the draft. And then second of all, everyone blaming Shedeur draft stock on his father, not on his play, not how well he can lead a team, not if he can be a starter quarterback in the NFL, but because of his father and how his father been his whole life. And that's some weak beta male type stuff. That's what's going on, man. That's weak beta male type stuff. You know what I mean? But I want to hear from Colin Cowherd, and I want to know, man, is this what he's saying? Is he saying Coach Prime wouldn't have supported his son in the way he did? Shedeur would have been a 1st round pick. If that's what he's saying, please respond back to me. Please help me understand your point of view. And if your answer is yes, because I don't expect him to respond, then he must understand this is what everybody is freaking complaining about. Everybody's complaining about this being about Coach Prime and not about Shedeur Sanders, And that's what I want to know. Ultimately, what is this about? I'm sure he's not going to respond. But direct the criticism towards Coach Prime, man. Please direct the criticism towards Coach Prime. You got like a month left, and then you can criticize football. But until it's time to criticize football, let the young man enjoy his journey. It's like every day is Shedeur Sanders. And it's all right when you have good conversations about Shedeur, have things uplifting him. You have conversations about the possibilities of where he may and may not land on the depth chart. But to hear the crazy foolishness is going to be crazy, It's just crazy to hear it day in and day out.
Yeah, and another confusing thing is that Shedeur signed his contract with the Browns. Maybe you could explain this better to me. Earlier, Shedeur signed a contract with the Browns, and then yesterday or the day before, Dylan Grable signed his contract with the Browns. So I'm thinking like they already got three other quarterbacks on the roster. Then these two signed contracts. I mean, can you speak a little bit more on that, or do you know in the direction they going on with 5 quarterbacks on the roster?
Everybody knows they have 5 quarterbacks on the roster, which is super ridiculous. But like I said, this is a team that has no direction. They don't know where they're going. Like the Steelers and the Browns, going to be 2 not so exciting teams coming up this year in the NFL. They don't have the direction. The leadership is off. Like the owner said, Jim Haslam. He spoke about, they take a big swing and they missed on Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson has set them back. He's trying to come back healthy. He's expecting to make an impact this season. So they're all over the place. They don't know what direction they need to go in as far as quarterback. And Kenny Pickett definitely isn't starting quarterback material. Deshaun Watson is a project waiting to see. And you got 2 rookies that's going to really be going at it and competing, you see. But ultimately, I always tell you, Shedeur Sanders, what my eyes tell me, is the most talented on that team, and nobody could beat him. But going back to Colin Cowherd and his show, it's like these guys don't even realize they're making the evidence in that $100 million contract. I mean, that $100 million lawsuit I speak about against the NFL from pain and suffering for Shedeur Sanders, that much more stronger when they continue to get up there and keep talking about this is the dad's fault, X, Y, and Z. man, you can only imagine the propaganda through text messages and the freaking emails and all type of collateral damage that is going to be exposed. You know what I mean? And let me say, this can actually provide expert testimony if they are brought up as a witness. Colin Cowherd and the guy on the show. It's like these guys are experts. They have they've been in this business for a very long time, and they are experts. When you bring an expert witness in, and you say the same things, or if he had to say what he said on this show, that this was the dad's fault, man, that $100 million lawsuit will look real strong. You know what I mean?
Mm.